Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with a sort of under-the-radar review of something that apparently is still available, which I can't believe. It's Andrew Litton's Mahler with the Dallas Symphony Orchestra on Delos. These came out, Mahler 2 and 3 specifically. These are the ones. Here they are. And they were recorded in 1999 and 2000, it looks like, or something like that. If I could see this, I can't. Forget it. Somewhere around there. Here's the point. They were pretty roundly overlooked and have been ever since in the Mahler discography. And I just went to Amazon. I browse around these things, and there they were. Of course, there was like one copy of each available, but they're not hard to source. And you can download them too. And they are fantastic performances. They're marvelous. Really first class in every way. The playing is amazing. The conducting is as idiomatic as can be. The singing is terrific. You've got, Heidi Grant Murphy and Petra Lang in the second. And you've got Natalie Stutzman, before she was a conductor, in the third. Look at that. Isn't that interesting? But here's the thing. We just did a talk on what makes a great Mahler orchestra. And I made some suggestions along those lines. And of course, I talked about the orchestras that traditionally played Mahler. That is the Czech Phil and Amsterdam Concertgebouw and the New York Phil. And then when recordings started to be made in the 50s and 60s, they had the right sound for the music. But of course, any orchestra with a conductor who knows what the music is supposed to sound like can make a good Mahler recording. That's what they call Aleph base in Yiddish, or in Hebrew, however you do it. It's ABCs. It's obvious, right? Anybody can play anything, especially these days, and you just have to have the right gumption and the right leader to tell you what to do, and the lack of inhibition to do it the way Mahler wants you to do it. Well, the Dallas Symphony under Litton was fantastic. They were a wonderful orchestra, an incredibly flexible orchestra. They were superb under Eduardo Mata. They've always been a very, very, very good group. And in these Mahler symphonies, which were recorded live, or at least the second was, I think, were they all? I don't know. It doesn't matter. They sound fabulous. A little bit low level, perhaps, but you can just crank it up. And the playing is so gutsy and right for Mahler. You've got, in the first movement of the third, you have those screaming woodwinds, and the brass are having the time of their lives, and the strings don't mind doing some of the things Mahler tells them to do, like swacking Col Legno at the climax of the first movement of the second, or doing, all those strange little dynamics and unusual things. And Litton is becoming one of the grand old men, isn't he? I mean, sorry, Andrew, I didn't mean to put it that way, but yes, he is. He's a conductor who seems to be going from strength to strength. He's been recording for BIS lately. He just did a Prokofiev cycle. He's doing all kinds of stuff. And he's still an absolutely splendid conductor. Really first class. He's become a little bit, mannered, because he's re-recorded things and wants to do something different here and there. But be that as it may, he was in fabulous shape to do Mahler, and he did more than these. You remember, he did the first symphony for Virgin, and he also did the fourth in Dallas, and he did the Clinton Carpenter version of the 10th Symphony, which was also for Delos, which I detest, but I mean, he did it. It's an absolutely horrible version of the work, but that's okay. I mean, it was interesting, and when it came out, and we enjoyed it while it lasted. Anyway, the point is that there is wonderful Mahler out there that people pay very little attention to. And some of it has actually managed to stay in print. Some of it is still, you can still acquire it, and it deserves some attention. And I don't want to have to be one of those people who, after Litton does something great, that's recent, to have to go back and say, oh, well, way back then he did these Mahler things and they were really good, and now we've all forgotten about them. They shouldn't have been forgotten in the first place. They really shouldn't, because because it's first-class playing, first-class sonics, and just exciting interpretations. I mean, he doesn't miss a trick. He's got, he's got the tam-tams, he's got the percussion going, yay, it's fabulous. He's got all the sounds that Mahler wants you to make in the framework of exciting, dynamic, and propulsive interpretations that do the music justice at every turn. And so if you are looking for some off-the-beaten-path Mahler, I would highly recommend that you check out these recordings of Symphonies Numbers 2 and 3 on Delos, because they are really, really first class. And I'm not kidding. They're absolutely wonderful. I was playing number 2 in the car last night, and it was absolutely fantastic. Whether it's on the road or in your house, you're going to love it. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.